I'm a bit fed up today. Don't feel in the mood for doing a proper video. Do you know what? Do you want to know what's got me fed up? Well, there's lots of things, really. I mean, I'm on this treadmill doing all these videos every single day, editing them, thinking up new ideas, trying to make stuff people like. If you do something people like, then they're like, oh, you're just trying to get views, you are, Andy. Oh, you've sold out, you have. And then if you don't try and get views, just do something, then nobody watches them anyway. Everyone's horrible. Always saying on this and on that. It's not an easy job, you know, coming up with all these videos, you know, just for everyone to moan. They moan about anything, you lot. You moan about anything. But that's not what's got me fed up now. It's not that. I mean, that's always there. I've always got to worry about that, haven't I? Nah. It's bloody King Charles. I don't know. I mean, I loved our Queen, I did. She never put a foot wrong, the Queen didn't. But bloody Charles. King Charles. He's brought out his honours list, hasn't he? If you don't live in the UK, we have a king. He's called King Charles, right? And he gives out all these things. Honours, they're called. So he might give you an OBE, which stands for Order of the British Empire, or an MBE, which is Member of the British Empire. I don't think that one's as good as OBE. And then you got KBE, which is a Knight of the British Empire, and he can actually make you into a knight. Or you could become Sir so-and-so. All right? And so I thought, well, I'm getting on now, 57, you know, and I've done a lot, really. I mean, there's a lot of people watch me on this channel. I've taught a lot of kids over the years, done a lot of good for the community, using music, stuff like that. You know, I've helped some people out, you know, done what I can. Yeah, and I was thinking I might be in the running. You never know. I've just had a good scan through it, and I'm not there. I mean, hey, I don't know. I mean, it's like everyone's getting a statue nowadays, aren't they? And that other Andy Edwards, the one who does the statues, he's getting a ton of work. He's just done Lemmy. I mean, why's Lemmy got a statue? I mean, I love Lemmy, but does he really need a statue, really? I mean, statues for people who've, like, invented things or discovered things, you know. I mean, what did he do? Ace of spades, and then got really off his head most of the time and had sex with loads of ladies. I mean, you get a statue for that now. 50 years ago, he wouldn't have got a statue, would he? Nah. I mean, I could have a statue. I'm sure I've done more for the local community and for musicians and things like that than Lemmy ever has. There has been some musicians in this one. I mean, Roger Daltrey, he's a knight now. He's Sir Roger Daltrey. I mean, he does loads of things for teenage cancer, doesn't he, old Daltrey? So you can't complain at that. I don't mind Daltrey so much, you know. But you know what's bothered me? Sadiq Khan. He's got a knighthood. I know he's not a musician. Just a twat. I mean, what's he got a knighthood for? I mean, I'm sure I'm more patriotic than he is. I mean, what has he got a knighthood for, Sadiq Khan? I mean, they asked him for a comment. He just said, oh, the king was really chuffed that I'd finally got it, and he said it was about time. As though he sat there totally ungrateful, just expecting to get one. I'm not saying I'm like that. I don't expect to get one. I just wondered whether, you know, somebody might think about me and, you know, I mean, how do you get these things? I've had a good look down, and there's a lot of people on there that has got them. Most of them don't seem to have done anything but be posh. So, I thought I'd have a chat about awards, honours and statues and why they come about.
Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah 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 blah.
If you look at the musicians who have got honours in the UK, most of them are classical musicians. They're part of an elite little club, aren't they, those types? I mean, how do you become a classical musician anyway? How do you do it? I mean, I was into music. They kicked me out of the music classes at school because I like rock music and because I played the drums, played them too loud, so they kicked me out. I was banned from there. They said I could only come in there if I wanted to learn the bassoon. I said, I don't want to learn the drums. They weren't interested in that. It's different now. Now you can get a qualification just by strumming out an Oasis tune and do a bit of programming in their garage band. You'll get a qualification then. But for me to even go near music college was an impossibility when I started playing. My mum and dad couldn't really afford lessons. I never had any lessons, never had anything. Nothing at all. All I had was the radio. Maybe if you're lucky seeing what music you liked on the TV, and buying records if you could get some money together to buy a record. And so I had to work it all out myself. You know, and once I'd done that, you didn't got a clue what to do. There's no music college, so you'd have to get with your mates. And all that when I was, like say, in the early 80s when I started playing drums, the only band they liked round in my town was the Ramones. This is why I hate the Ramones, because every time I turn up with some mates, they go, do you want to play? And I'd get my drums out, trying to play a Bavish Orchestra track, All Returns Forever. And they wanted to do a Ramones tune. I mean, I didn't want to do that, so I didn't bother doing it. No, it was hard slog it was. Hard slog, everything hard earned, you know, really hard earned it was. And I tried to do normal jobs. Right, my first job was working in the printers, and I didn't like it at all. I only did one day. It was boring. So I couldn't do that, and then I got a job in a landscape architects, and it was sort of a drawing job, and I did that for a couple of years. But they sacked me in the end. That was in 1992. They sacked me 33 years ago. And I haven't done a proper job since, really. But I found I could earn a living by teaching music, which is funny because I'd never had any lessons and I'd had to work it out myself. So I went into teaching, and actually I enjoyed teaching because it is hard doing music. It does your head in. And these kids would come into college at 16 years old, and I'd look at them and think, well, that's me. That was me a few years back. And I know exactly how they felt. Right? Now, I didn't know everything, but I'd worked a few things out. So the few things I had worked out, I could tell them. And I realised it wasn't about chords and scales. It was more about, like, how'd you be creative? How'd you, you know, get your act together? How'd you stop yourself from going nuts, you know. I enjoyed it. I did it for years and years and years, but the world changed, culture changed, education changed. I got old. And I didn't seem to want me anymore. It's a bit sad. But the thing is, I then transferred what I was doing onto YouTube here. I'm happy now. I've got a big audience out there. It seems big to me, and I can come out and talk like this. Talk about stuff, just relaxed, like I am now. Have a bit of moan. Sometimes I'll do a proper video. Sometimes I'll, you know, work out something really clever. Sometimes I'll just try and get the views by going on about, you know, how I hate somebody or how someone's overrated or how your favourite band's rubbish and I'm better than you, and people get all annoyed by that. And that's also fun. I like that. But every now and then you wake up and you think, oh, God, why have all these people done so well? What is it? I don't feel like I'm in their club. Is this ringing true to any of you? I know this isn't the normal fare you get on my channel. I know it is. That this is more me chatting to you like a friend. I'm not trying to impart, you know, knowledge here. I'm just having a chat. Just throwing a few ideas around. There's a lot of things I want to say by this, but I don't know if I should say them. I think I might have to say them, or this video will have no point, will it? So,
Let's try to get as many kisses from you as I could then. Aiming for two. Oh my God! Thank you all so much for this. This is so incredible. I promised myself I wasn't going to say anything rude, but I have actually been wet dreaming about getting a BAFTA one my whole life. And so...
Where do we start with this? There's a certain type of person, right? Because in this country, I don't know what it's like in America, but in this country, the United Kingdom, we have a very, very strong class system. And this is evidenced by the fact that we have a king.
For the king!
And we have a queen, and we have princes and princesses, and then we have minor royals. And these people, they sit on land that they own, you know, and they have like stately homes and stuff like this. And they all sort of know each other, and they all go around the place sort of hobnobbing. Hobnobbing is the best word for what they do. And then attached to them are all sorts of people that help them out here and there, you know. And if you get in with that crowd, and you know, they see that they might favour you, you see. King Charles might favour you. And if he favours you, he might give you one of the honours. So that's your basic way of getting the honours. So if he knows a musician or whatever, you know, I mean, who did he love when he was young? He loved the 3 Degrees. Do you remember the 3 Degrees? Those 3 girl singers. When will I see you again? When will our hearts beat together? It's a good song, actually. Oh, just friends. They lifted that chorus. Is it the beginning? It's lifted all the time. Or is it the end? You would give back down to like, oh, really good. They don't do that nowadays. You know, did they get any? Did the old 3 Degrees get ever? Did they get any honours? Sheila, what's her name? Has she got any honours? Check it out now. I want to know. Tell me in the comments. Done no research for this. You know, so you know, that would be the obvious way. So that's your first way. You've got to be in there. Now, there's this idea that people can sort of suggest you. Does anyone know the process of this? And this, I think, is what I was like hoping. I was relying on this one, really. I was hoping that viewers of this channel, knowing what a good bloke I am and what I've done for the music industry and what I've done for, it's all right, the BMW just went just past. And it's got a great big white dog sat in. It's the wrong way round, so it looks like the dog's driving down the road. Oh God, that's made me laugh. I knew I wouldn't be able to just pretend I hadn't seen it. Oh, that was funny, that was. It's a shame you couldn't see it. I mean, if I got that on, if the camera was turned around the other way now, this would be getting some views. It really would. It'd have to be a short. Anyway, let's not get waylaid by white dogs driving BMW. Oh, he's so proud looking as well. It wasn't so much proud, it was just smug. He was like this. I don't think he was really driving. He just looked like he was driving. If he was really driving, bloody hell, he should be getting an award, that dog. My dog couldn't drive a car. Drive around the bend, but not drive a car. So anyway, there should be some way that the public could vote. I think King Charles has got to keep his nose out of it, right? Because all he's going to be doing is promoting his friends. And when it comes to music, it's just going to be people like the 3 Degrees. And although they're good, you know, and there's got to be some really good musicians. And how do you get it? Do you get it for being a good musician? Or do you get it for being like, doing lots of charity work? I've got no problem with Daltrey getting it. He's done so much work for that teenage cancer thing. That's the thing. I mean, he should get it. Really should. Shouldn't he? What about Bono from U2? Has he just got a knighthood? He shouldn't be getting it, should he? Nah. Has he got one, though? Shall I have a look? You wait there. Let's see who's in the new... Let's see what we've got in the honours list. Ah. When you do YouTube videos, it's supposed to be really snappy. That's why you have these, you know, these idiots that edit all the gaps out in between what they're saying, you know, that type of thing.
Some truly appalling scenes in Northern Ireland.
Yes, we have seen some appalling scenes in Northern Ireland, but that's not what we need to know at the moment, is it? We need to know it's the King's birthday honours list, and I'll put 2025. Right, I'm going to go through this with you now so you really get a flavour. God, you got to download stuff. I've got to download a PDF. Right, let's have a look here now. Let's see who's got them. Right. Some professor, Dame Suzanne Jocelyn Bell Burnell. She's got a ton of them already. I don't know what they've made her. I suppose they made her a dame. Sir Anthony Gormley has got an OBE. He's a sculptor. I've heard of him. Where's the musicians? Right. That's no good, is it? Another professor. Head of the Joint Intelligence Committee. The Permanent Secretary in Ministry of Housing, Sarah Healy. These are OBEs, these are. Claire Barkley, lately Chief Executive Officer, Microsoft UK. Patricia Margaret Barker, CB, she's an author. Where's the musicians? It's a lot of, Chief Executive Officer of Nationwide Building Society. Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of Amadeus Capital Partners. So basically, this is all about money, isn't it? It's about money. All right, where's the musicians? Right, Elaine Page has got an OBE. That's not so bad. She's all right. She's got it for charity. They always put charity on. I mean, everyone does charity, don't they? I'm assuming Elaine Page has done charity. So it's Elaine Page has got an award. Don't mind her having one. I've got no problem with that. God, it's all Roger Daltrey. Roger Harry Daltrey. Knighthood. And that's for being the patron of the Teenage Cancer Trust. That's fair enough. You can't moan. Am I just... Rufus Norris. Rufus Norris, Director of Chief... This is what does my head in. Rufus Norris used to be a student at my college when I was teaching music over on our sister or brother course. I don't know what gender an acting course would be. But over on the acting course, Rufus Norris was a student. And now he's got... What has he got, an OBE? along with Gary Oldman. It's unbelievable. Right. This is why this niggles me, and these are the things I shouldn't be saying. But many years ago, I worked with an old mate of mine called Amo Talwar, and he set up a thing called Punch Records. Now, yeah, he did a lot of the work, but I was out there helping, you know, doing stuff for, you know, disaffected youths, you know, young lads that lived in urban areas doing rap stuff, you know, and he's ended up with an OBE, he has. I haven't. Nothing. I'm not going to get anything, am I? The Order of Bath. I'd have been happy with the Order of Bath. It's all civil servants, right? It's civil servants. And it's, right, here's the OBEs. This is what I want, will be an OBE. All right, that's what I want. What musicians have we got? There's not that many. You'd expect a few more. You got Susan Brooks, Interim Director of Strategy and Stakeholder Engagement in the Scottish Prison Service. Weren't they sticking blokes in the female prisons? What's she getting an award for doing all that for? Right, what else have we got? Oh, I mean, there's a lot of professors as well. Philip Colligan, Chief Executive Officer of the Raspberry Pi Foundation. What the hell's that? Is that pi as in like the number pi, you know, the one that recurs forever, or is it like a pie as in steak and kidney pie? I can't tell what's going on here really. Oh God, where's the musicians? Maybe they're not panning them out to musicians anymore. Maybe I've got nothing to get annoyed about. I haven't got my my award. I can't find any musicians on this list. Rubbish, really. God, there's hundreds of them. There's hundreds. I could have been on here. A few actresses, a landscape designer. Mainly money people. We've only really come up with two so far, haven't we? Elaine Page and Roger Daltrey. You don't mind watching me just scrolling. You can't even see me scrolling, can you? Maybe this wasn't a good idea. Don't know. Just make me depressed. Officers of the Order of the British Empire. What the hell's that? I've never heard of any of these people. I might give up in a minute. I have helped literally hundreds of kids over the years. Hundreds of them. All right? I've come on here. I've helped people on here, haven't I, with my videos? And they all say it. Hundreds of people say it. I bet I've helped more people than Elaine Page. How many people has she helped, Elaine Page? Probably turns up and has a nice dinner when they're doing a charity thing, but that's enjoyable, isn't it? It's not like hard work. No, these awards, all awards are rubbish, okay? Awards are different to these honours, right? But what you've got is status, right? There's this thing that people have. And status does not relate at all to skill, creativity, innovation, or kindness to your fellow man. None of those things are measured by status at all. And people can't really tell when someone's done those things that are good. So in the old days, I think, you know, like in Wizard of Oz, when she dishes out all the stuff to the people, right? You know, when you're a kid and they've been on that big long journey, and and what's the name wants a heart, the old Tin Man. Scarecrow wants a brain, and the Lion wants to have some courage. And at the end of it, you expect them to get that, but they don't. She just hands them out some really dodgy things, like a heart on a chain and a scroll. And I remember thinking as a kid, I think that is not the thing, right? There's no two ways about it. That is not the thing. Those things aren't where we're supposed to go, oh, yeah, because we've given you this, you are that now. No, you're not. A bit of paper doesn't mean anything, does it? OBE, sir, this, right? Is this wrong? Is this what's wrong with society? Not the socialist idea of everyone's got to be equal. I don't mind people being above. That's what I want. I want to be part of the elite, and that's why I want the honour. Right? I've had a few awards in my time. In education, I think I got 2. But I tell you now, I only got those because I knew the right people and they put my name forward. You always have to have someone who can put your name forward, and that person who puts their name forward is always because they're in a position of power. And the reason why they do something like this is either because they're trying to get you under their control, or they are just helping out their mates to try and create some cohesion against their elites and push it up against anybody else. Because it safeguards you, or you think it safeguards you. This is what it's all about, you see. It's what it's all about. It's like an actor getting an Oscar. The actor gets the Oscar, and then from then on, it's Oscar winner so-and-so. And it's just put them in that thing that's higher. Does it mean they're a better actor than the person who hasn't got the Oscar? Does it mean they're the best actor in the world? Of course it doesn't. It's all arbitrary. It means nothing. These all mean nothing. But I want one. That's the thing. This is what I always find so interesting about these, especially these honours lists. Some people who seem like self-righteous gits, right? And I can't stick them. They'll give theirs away. I don't want your OBE. Stick your OBE, Royal Family. I'm a Marxist and I'm an anarchist, and I'm not interested in that. It's like Marlon Brando not going to get his Oscar, didn't he? And he sent that Native American woman instead, and she went up and said she did. She accept it? I don't know. But the point is that you know what I'm saying, don't you? The point is here. The point is here that I'm trying to make here. Yeah, I'm not too sure what point I'm trying to make, because the thing is with this. Right? They're rubbish. It means nothing. When Drummer Magazine says this is the best jazz drummer in the world, that person is not the best jazz drummer in the world. None of it means anything whatsoever. Right? And that's not to say because there's no such thing. There is someone who's done something amazing, and I believe they should be awarded for it. There should be some sort of light that goes, this person's done this, because when you're dealing with an elitist subject, like for example music, some of these things can be really useful for certain people, like me for example, but they never actually mean anything, do they? So you've got this dichotomy. We know they don't mean anything. When we watch the Oscars and they have the 4 people up, and they're going, and the Oscar for Best Male Actor, although I don't think they have male and female anymore, the best Oscar for actor goes to, and then they read it out, and all the other ones sit there pretending they're not bothered, and then that person gets up and they thank everybody, right? Is that person genuinely the best actor out of those 4? Really? Is Roger Daltrey, has Roger Daltrey done more for whatever he's supposed to have done than anybody else? Really? These people are millionaires. Right? What it is they're just becoming more and more part of the establishment. It's peacocking. They're showing off their feathers. They're letting everybody know that they're part of that elite club. And King Charles sits in the middle of it. And King Charles, the difference between King Charles and a queen is that queen didn't virtue signal. She was amazing. She just went straight down the line. But he's virtue signaling. Or whoever and that's what I can't stick. That's the part I can't stick. This guy, and if you want to go back, you can go back on the. You could go back on my videos and you'll find this interview. Martin Speak. Martin was a lecturer at Goldsmiths College. He was also a saxophone player that had had a 40-year career, one of the UK's great saxophone players, you know, an original founding member of Itchy Fingers, and then gone out to a solo career. He'd worked with the likes of people like Paul Motion, the greatest jazz musician in the world, and he ends up teaching at Goldsmiths, a very prestigious university in London. And an email comes through, some virtue signalling email that's been, commissioned because these colleges have these quangos, these little quangos sitting there telling them what they should do and what they should not do. And they say things like, you need to get everyone on side in your organisation to agree that we need to do more for black musicians in the world of jazz. And they sent this email out, and what should we do? And Martin, having an opinion that was his own and having a vast amount of experience in the British jazz scene, he turned around and went, well, I think they're doing all right, the black people in the UK, the black musicians, they seem to be doing all right, really. And then he said, what you really want to try and do is get to the poor people, because they don't ever get any jazz, black or white. It's poor black kids you've got to get to. We've got black kids on the course, but every black kid that here is a poshie, along with all the white poshies that come on this course. It's an elitist form of music, which of course it is. I don't mean elitist in ability and skill. I mean elitist as in it tends to, be practiced now by people who used to go to the opera. It's that type of person. He said that, and he was, to cut a long story short, ceremonially cancelled, lost his job, lost everything, lost every single gig, whole life ruined. And I got in touch with him, and there's an interview on here with him. So I then went and looked to see what jazz musicians have got OBEs in the UK. And the thing that was amazing is it was something like 80% of the honours that had come from the royal family for jazz musicians had gone to black jazz musicians. Now, I ain't got a problem with that. I don't mind it being predominantly black people. I'm not a racist. I have no problem. I mean, jazz is a music that black people have a link to culturally. Not necessarily British black people, but there is some sort of link there. And, people may be inspired to see these incredible musicians and go, oh my God, when you're a kid, you might look at that person and go, oh my God, they're black like me. I want to be like them. I want to be like Sonny Rollins. And I understand all that. So yeah, I got a problem with. I ain't got a problem with this at all. Not one bit. I don't think things should be equal at all. I think things should just be left as they are. But the fact is, it's predominantly black people that have been getting these honours. And when I looked into these people who got the honours, the thing that was really interesting is that most of them had been to private school. Their parents were multimillionaires. They were part of the establishment. As soon as they popped out of their college that they went to because they could afford to do a jazz degree, when they popped out of it, the jobs were there, the commissions were there. They were sat on this, they were sat on that, right? This country is riddled with class. And the reason why they get away with it is because of identity politics. And so I feel this sort of virtue signalling and this sort of commitment to obfuscating the truth, which is, if you're poor, if you're at the bottom of the pile, you aren't doing music. It's been taken away. Those civil servants on that list, all those people, they have all conspired to take music off the menu for students. My daughter, she's just about to finish her last year at school. She's going to go on to the sixth form. We got a message saying they're not going to run the music. What a surprise. Why should she be doing music for? But can't she knuckle down and do some STEM subjects? That's what she should be doing. Why are we wasting money, taxpayers' money, getting people to do music qualifications? I started off quite silly on this video, but there is a massive problem here. There is a massive problem. And I have been up close to it for 30 odd years. I've been banging my head against it. 25 years ago, I was turning up in Birmingham at youth clubs. We were bringing in all sorts of different kids, and these kids were urban kids. They were right in some of the worst parts of Birmingham. We'd set up a recording studio and they'd come in their rap, we'd record their raps, I would try and get a track done, mix it, get it out to them. I was literally doing 20 or 30 tracks a day, trying to get loads of tracks out, sharing tracks, I'd create some beats and then we'd give it to like different rappers, and they would get a mix of them all rapping their own stuff over the same backing track, and then we would bang that out and they would take it off, go down to the pirate radio shows and they'd play this stuff, right? I used to think, what is it? Was it doing any good for the community? But it's doing some good for these kids. I must have recorded like that well over 1,000 kids like that. I also ran my own arts organisation. I had a thing called Juggernaut Arts, and we used to work out in rural areas trying to put gigs on, because of course kids in bands in rural areas, they can't just walk down to the local venue, so there isn't one. So we'd find some hall somewhere and we put a big full PA in, full lighting rig, we were getting funding to do this stuff. And then the rest of my time was spent working in colleges. And in the old days, you always have this course, and I knew who it was picking up. It was picking up all the creative wastrels and waifs, all those ones who sat in school and just felt like they were complete outsiders, and then they walked into my course and they all sat down looking all weird, because they did all look weird, and they looked at all us and we looked all weird, and then we started chatting, and suddenly they went, oh my God, I'm out of school, I'm here. I've spent my whole life doing that. But I tell you something, is my want to do that and my commitment to trying to help people like that, right, has put me on the outside. I am completely on the outside, and I feel it every single day. And amongst a certain elite who I'm very close to, if I put Facebook on, I could see all these people there, and they're all in the industry, musicians, people who run venues, people in colleges. And I can tell they're all a little bit like this towards me. They're all a little bit, oh, I don't know about Andy. Oh, he's a bit like this, he's a bit like that. Did you watch that video he did the other day? I know. Do you hear what he's saying? Right? What was he going on about? Well, he's for starters, he's really arrogant, because he was saying he wanted an award and he was annoyed he hadn't got one. Why should he have an award? And then he said it's like they're just giving awards out to black people because they're black. Did you hear what he said? Right? I feel that all the time. And so I can see the issues here, right? I have got a massive experience of being up close to this, all right? I'll tell you this now. If you could get to a 14, 15, 16-year-old kid, and if they're very, very creative, right, if you could get them, that creativity, if they don't understand it, can be extremely dangerous to them, all right? We are messing with something that most people don't understand. A lot of the people who watch this channel, they do understand it, and that's why they come here, because I'm talking about it now, and that's what this video is really about. Okay, it's about that, and it's about supporting people like that. If you're well off and you're a creative person and you've got all this stuff going on in your head, you're okay, because you haven't got to worry about getting a job. You haven't got to worry about paying the bills. You could just go to a course and indulge yourself, and you could be very good. But for poor people, they cannot access this, and it's being systematically taken away from them. All right, and so I sit there reading out this honours list, feeling, oh my God, look at this lot. And it's all been celebrated across, social network. And then I happen to see something going, the great Yolanda Charles MBE playing at so-and-so. And I typed up, and I know who Yolanda Charles is. She's a really great bass player. And this is nothing against her as a bass player. But why has she got an MBE? She's younger than me. Yeah, she's played with more famous people than me. But I couldn't find the charity thing. I'm sure everyone's involved in charity. I'm not putting her down her having it. Well, I am, because I'm not putting down her having it. I'm putting down the system. Right? I'm putting the system down, that if you're a virtue signaling, identitarian lefty, and you champion all that, and you play the system like that, you will rise above it. And I see that those very ideas are keeping certain people down, of all races, sex and genders. I dealt with everybody when I was a student, gay kids, black kids, trans kids, right? I saw the problems they had. And the big problem they had is that if they were poor, they had no way of accessing how to express themselves, both gear-wise, but more importantly, someone explain them how they're going to control what's going on up here, right? It is an absolute crime what's going on in our culture at the moment. Now, I think we can get bogged down with politics, right? I didn't mean this to be a political video. I really want to explain the structure of award ceremonies, of honours lists, and get into there and show how there's a dichotomy there that's interesting, because everybody knows they're rubbish. We can all agree that they mean nothing, but everybody wants them. And this is why I came on acting like, why haven't I got one? I should be getting one. And then when you get one, you go, oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't believe I've got it. I can't believe it. I'm amazed. I can't believe I've got it. It's such an honour to get this, unless you're Sadiq Khan. And so I've seen a number of things just then, and I thought, I've got to say something about this. Because if you're Sadiq Khan and you happen to be in that position of power, in the capital of the country, and you're a Muslim, then you're there going, I can't believe I haven't got one yet. Who the hell do you think you are? You arrogant little git. Right? I'm sick of it. And the thing is, right, you cannot even, in rock and roll, stick it to them anymore, because you will be vilified. You will be vilified for championing just the normal people, right? But we need normal people. We need normal creative people, because we need their view of the world. You know why? Because that's what most of us are. We need a little bit of the poshies telling us how they see the world. There's nothing wrong with that. But for us normal people, we're all the normal people. None of us. It's ridiculous that I would be looking to see if I'm on the honours list. That's the joke of the video. I've had to explain it. The reason I've had to explain it, because what's popped in my mind is this feeling continually that I am some sort of bad person, that I'm right wing, which I'm not, that I'm a racist, which I'm not, right? That I'm somehow going down far right rabbit holes. And I've had to, because of people coming on here and going, look, I don't come here for the politics, I come here for the music. I'll talk about what I bloody want. Right, if I'm talking about honours lists, if I'm talking about awards, that's what this video's on. And then I'm talking about it thinking, what is creating this? And I think about it from my point of view, and then I say it. That's what the video's about. So why so many people going, oh, you shouldn't be saying this. I don't come here for this. I just come here for you going on about who's the most overrated drummer, so I can have a go at you and say you shouldn't have said. I'm not supposed to say anything. Everybody's telling everybody what to say. Everybody's telling everybody what to do. You know why? Because there's this thing that's got in our heads, and it's the way the elites work, and it's the way they control people. Right? And our music, right? Music has been completely decimated. The power that it had has gone, because the chaos that used to exist in musicians, I've just done a video called 10 biggest bastards in rock and roll. The first 5 are actually not bastards. They're really, they're deserving of respect. And one of them was Lou Reed. Now, I've been critical of Lou Reed here, but the reason I've been critical of Lou Reed is not because I really think Lou Reed is just absolute rubbish. I don't. I think he's one of the greats, right? But being a creative person, I'm also a bit like him. So I will put him down. He will put Frank Zappa down. Zappa will put him down. That is what creative people do. And there's an interview that I've included in this video I've done. And he is just so difficult. The top 5, though, are actual bastards. That's a different thing. This is the point. This is the absolute point. Those types of people who truly upset the apple cart, people that people were truly shocked at by what they said, those people are no longer in music, because music has become this thing where everyone is just doing what they do, virtue signaling and hoping that they will get that award or get on that honours list, and the king will come on and put his little sword on their shoulders so they can go, I am part of the club. It's all about being part of the club. The club's up here and the rest of us are down here, right? And I'm not supposed to say anything about it, but the truth is, it's killed the lot. Jazz used to be, right, jazz was was elitist, but it was created by elite musicians who were at the bottom of the pile, living in the cracks, living in the urban sort of, underneath the rocks. So they'd come out at night doing their thing, and nobody knew what they were doing. It was crazy. When rock and roll first happened, you had like these insane people like Little Richard that had been a drag artist on this sort of gender bending a scene that was out there, coming on singing things like Tutti Frutti and all this stuff that was all like that. This happened all the way through. Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention, the Ramones, the Sex Pistols, the Stranglers. But it's also in the jazz, when you listen to the free jazz musicians like, Albert Ayler and Archie Shepp, Pharaoh Saunders, the Spirit, all this stuff where the vast amount of normal people go, oh God, what the hell's this? I mean, I don't get what they're doing, blah, 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 all that bit. This is where it's gone wrong. This is where it's gone wrong. Imagine if they started to hand out these awards. Imagine if we were in an enlightened enough space for someone like King Charles, rather than virtue signalling that he's pseudo-enlightened, that he would actually find voices that were saying things that were truly upsetting the apple cart. Who would be getting the award then in the UK? You can put the answer of that in the comments. We all know who, if you live in the UK. Right, I don't want one of those awards. I don't want an OBE. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I've chosen what to do. I knew how this worked, and when I was younger, I was in that echelon of people. And as I said, people that I grew up with at that time have gone on to get these honours. And in that they have done very well, and I'm sure they feel very proud of what they've done. And in some cases, they have done things they should be proud of. But I knew right from day one I was never going to be one of those people. And so I exist here. And the reason why most people come and watch this channel is because you're sat there wondering what I'm going to say next, aren't you? Right? You've come here because we love the music. I'm championing the music before we even start that isn't part of the elite's intellectual view of what great music is. Right? Liking prog and liking jazz rock fusion and liking classic rock, those three things, right, and liking it really highly experimental music, not artsy experimental music, proper experimental music, right? That is so anti the system, okay? There is a certain type of bookish, intellectual, slightly nerdy person that loves prog. They're intelligent and they got a lot going on, but they've been sidetracked as well. They've been portrayed in a certain way so that they have no power. This is what's happened. This is what's happened. So no, I was lampooning the system when I said that I was looking for my name in the list. I knew my name would never be in that list. Now, I could be saying all this because I could be thinking, well, I've got a reasonable audience here, and if they all get together and start, saying give Andy an OBE, I can sit there and then I can go, oh my God, I can't believe it. I don't even know how this happened, because you did that video, Andy, didn't you, where you came out and said you wanted one. And the thing is, if I got one, I would be so proud. What's going on? You know what I'm living for, right? I'm living for that silver plaque when I get to 100,000 subscribers. And when I get there, I will feel that my job in life will be done. That will be it. I will then slow it all down. I might even stop the channel at that point. Just do gardening and, just playing a little bit of jazz in the local pub. I might just go to do something like that. I don't know. But that's what I'm going for, because I can see I might get that. But we're long. I'm only just past 50,000. I mean, I might be 80 when I get there, because it's all slowing down a little bit, to be honest. I don't know. But that's what I'm living for. But even with that, right, I got a student. I had a guitar student called Ben, and I taught him a bit of jazz guitar. He's a good lad, But he's been doing these terrariums or whatever they're called, and he's set himself up on YouTube, Worcester Terrariums, and he's on Instagram, and he's on all the other TikToks and all that type of stuff. He gets like 1 million views. He's coming up to 1 million subscribers. Some kid bloody putting bits of grass in a bloody glass box gets a million. Here's me with all my knowledge. Why haven't I? Where's my accolades? I want them right now. It's not right. Is it because of the colour of my skin? Is it because of my Birmingham accent? What is it? Why haven't I got the accolades? I've done enough, haven't I? I've come on here and done some sly boasting all the way through. Told you about all the wonderful stuff I've done for young people. Normally I'm boasting about the fact that I play with Robert Plant, or I've done all these albums, or I can know this, or I know that, and I'm a bit on. But this time it's slightly different, isn't it? You know, and I've come on and done it. But at least I'm admitted to it at the end. Right, I didn't know Andy did all that. I didn't know what good bloke he was. Maybe he does deserve that. Maybe he does. You know, why don't we all get together and create a little bit of thing, we can all sign it, get about 10,000 signatures on it, send that to King Charles, and go, who the hell's this Andy Edwards? Bloody hell, we should be giving him an OBE. Sadiq, you're going to have to give your knighthood back. I'm giving it to Andy Edwards. Oh, don't give it to him. He's a right-wing racist, that bloke is. No, he's not. I don't think he is. They're all saying he's not here. Oh, I don't believe that. I don't believe that about Andy. He says all the wrong things. He's not part of the club like us. It's a strange video, isn't it? So, what is the conclusion of all this? We're in a right mess. Culturally, we're in a right mess. Politically, we're in a right mess. Financially, we're in a right mess. And from a civic order and happiness, we're in a right mess. Here in the UK, and I think in the rest of the Western world isn't far behind. Why is that? Because the class system has bolstered itself back up and it's hiding in a certain way. And so as normal people, we feel like we haven't got a voice again. That's why. And the voice we had is not through protest, it's through the arts. It always has been through the arts. And we haven't got access to it anymore. And they're taking it away from us. And that honour system is the example of it. You can look at it and just read it like a book. Why is it the old days when we still had the same class system that it was so much better then? And why did we have things like coming through that was exciting and changing culture and arriving at a place that was far more harmonious, which is what great art will do, by the way. The reason is because, and I will leave you with this, it doesn't matter whether you're right wing or left wing. I'm neither. I'm both and I'm neither. But that actually doesn't matter. Right, if you think this is about right wing or left wing, and if you feel like you're not in my club and you're getting angry because you're not in my club, right, that's because you've been trained to think like that, okay? You know why they're doing that? You know why they're dividing us like that? I tell you why they're dividing us like that. So that we don't notice that they aren't very good. Our political elite is not very good. Intellectually, intelligence-wise, their knowledge of specifics and specialisms, their ideas about commerce, their ideas about business, their ideas about redistribution and helping people at the bottom of the pile. It's not that they don't want to be good, it's the fact that they're incompetent. Right? I have a little politics channel and I've been doing lots of videos on there and I've been thinking about it a lot. And over the last week I've come to this conclusion. I thought this is really simple. We just do not have the quality of politicians. And why? Because this class system has reared its head and nobody can come through anymore. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.